It's been 5 days since this video was loaded. I don't have anything that rhymes with that. Well met, lords and ladies, Jacob Butter speaking, and welcome back to another reaction that is pre-recorded. And yes, it has been 5 days, and yeah, reason being I've been sick. I'm still sick. You can somewhat tell. But during that time, the next MyStreet's top 10 moments picked by you came out. And this time I didn't miss the voting. I knew this was happening. I did forget to offer any suggestions myself, but I did actually particularly cast my vote in for one specific thing. Which, by the way, I found out since last video that the way this is done is via YouTube Shorts. Actually, I might have mentioned that in the previous video. I'm not entirely sure. If I didn't, it's on via Shorts. So people will just like literally, suggest things, and then based on the upvotes, those are the top voted moments, which is an interesting way of doing it. But I suppose it's better than having to, catalog every single, every single entry that was physically possible. Which, now that I think about that, actually is a good method for the Jacobs. Maybe we'll see. I'll toy around with that in my mind once I again get through some other projects and I'm a little bit better potentially. But for this one, I have waited long enough, and I have a little bit of a gap today because I've got a 5 years later video that's coming out later today on the day of that's being streamed later on the day of this being uploaded. In fact, if you're watching this as the premiere happens, I'll most likely be live at the exact same time. That being said, let's actually begin. Let's see. I do know one specific thing that was voted on for this, but other than that, I don't know anything else. So it's going to be a complete surprise aside from one specific thing that I will point out once we get there. But for now, without further distraction, on with the reaction.
Zane, I don't see what's so important. Huh?
I'll leave you two be.
Huh?
Okay, so aside from the Zane thing there, I'm going to immediately say I'm surprised this one is as low down on the list as it actually is. Because normally the aphmau milestones get a lot of attention from people, and these are the things that people like to really praise super highly. Not to say that this is not worthy of being on the list at all. I'm just surprised that the general public hasn't deemed it even higher than it actually has.
Aaron? What's going on?
Aph, I've been wanting to ask you for a long time.
Aaron, wait! We've just started dating and I'm not ready for a wedding proposal!
No, I mean, I'd like to...
Nah, give it about 3 seasons, you're fine. No, I actually, aside from that, I just remembered as well, I can't remember exactly where the aphmau and Aaron, him asking her to be his girlfriend moment came in the last one. Maybe it was further down than I thought, because they seem familiar. This is a pattern.
Someday with you, but aphmau, I was wondering, when we get back home, would you, be, interested in moving in with me?
Like, coming to hang out? I mean, I already...
No, not like that. I mean...
Yeah, besides, we do know for a fact you already spent a lot of time at his house, aphmau. We're very aware of this.
like, hang out. Always.
You mean... move in with you?
That is indeed exactly what he said.
Like, take my stuff to your house?
Our house. Or we could move into a new one. I want to be with you.
Aaron, I'd love to. But Caitlin, Kawaii-chan, I...
We'll be fine, aphmau.
Huh?
You don't have to worry about me and Kawaii-chan. We're big girls. Plus, we want to see you happy. Everyone...
I did say this, by the way, that my favorite aspect of MyStreet Season 1 was the roommate dynamic between aphmau, Caitlin, and Kawaii-chan. So yeah, I was definitely sad to see it go, or to hear it was going to go when this happened, and that's possibly one of the reasons that Season 3 used to be my least favorite when it came out. Again, I've mentioned before that my order has changed. Season 3 is now, honestly, it teeters between my favorite and my second favorite, along with season 5, depending on like what mood I'm in at the time. But yeah, I guess at the time maybe that was partly what I was thinking about, you know, in lieu of the aphmau moments that would have ensued moving forward naturally. Caitlyn and Kawaii-chan, of course, they're both cool with it. When we saw Caitlyn's reaction, as for Kawaii-chan's...
One deserves that.
Caitlyn. But what about Kawaii-chan? Will she be okay with this?
You've gotta be kidding me, right? This is her.
My ship!
My ship!
We're fine.
I think it took me a second the first time I watched that video to realize that he was talking about the actual ship rather than like him actually also being excited for aphmau and Aaron. But yeah, like on the second video, it's like, oh yeah, of course. Silly me.
Fine. Plus, we'll just get a new roommate. We're still gonna be close to you. After...
That's actually a fair point. They never did get another roommate. That'd be a good reason to like, you know, keep Vlad around potentially as the other roommate, considering that he was already kind of there.
After all, I'm still keeping my eye on you, Aaron.
I'd expect nothing less.
I take it back. This is why this is still on the list. Caitlyn, get out of here.
Okay, you guys, give them some alone time. Aphmau still needs to give her answer.
I mean, she did say she'd love to, but I guess she was still hesitant. Okay, fine. Also, maybe I missed this the first time with this being the theme song of season 3. Well, I say the first time, we didn't know that at the time, but obviously in hindsight. I mean, like when I did like the 5 years later reaction.
Aaron,
Aph?
I'd love to move in with you.
Really?
Yes, really.
She said yes the same way she said yes at the end of the last season, too.
You don't have to say it if you're not ready.
But I am. I love you!
I think this was my my drink. I thought it was. Yeah. Also, for a time, it was almost like every season of MyStreet ended up with you know, some sort of like milestone for aphmau and Aaron specifically. You know, them getting together, them moving in, them having their first major fight / breakup in quotes. Yeah, I mean, for some time it seemed to work, considering that MyStreet could have ended after season 1, and this was essentially what aphmau called the after ever after. You know, I do appreciate that. And it's one of the things I remember that Fuzzy Snowy Cloud, particularly, you know, the YouTuber Fuzzy Snowy Cloud, back when you know, we used to like, you know, talk to each other, because we haven't contacted her in a long time actually. She actually mentioned that one of the things that she was disappointed about as MyStreet progressed, actually, as a fan of season 1, was the fact that it became so centered around aphmau and Aaron specifically. It's like, I mean, to me, this was like an early sign of my preferences as far as, you know, series that go into the actual relationship rather than just building up to it and then, you know, going to credits. So I'm very glad that, you know, popular demand of the time dictated that this would move forward. It's like the reverse of what happens with most other aphmau roleplays, where the viewership wasn't as good, and therefore it petered out, with the exception of possibly Diaries, which is already a huge step up from aphmau's usual audience, and her first time handling a major audience, according to her specifically. So, yeah, maybe it is just a case of like, okay, public outcry definitely did everyone a favor this time. Anyway, back to this.
What's going on?
Kawaii-chan's
Yeah, I knew this one was going to be in here. Like, I personally am not a fan of this moment, but again, I can see why everyone likes it. It's been animated, it's been drawn, it's something. But it's such an obvious joke, with such an obvious character that it was told with. Just play it, you'll see.
trying to get Zane to go down the slide.
Oh, come on, Zane-kun, don't be a baby.
I'm gonna...
Oh yeah, this is around the time that Moika was sick and therefore couldn't voice Kawaii-chan, so Jess stepped in.
Do it, just give me a moment!
Yeah, by the way, went down way too soon for the slide. If anyone was attending that thing, that would have been a huge hazard.
See, Zane-kun? Wasn't that fun?
Yeah, actually, that was fun.
What?
You see, humiliate the edgelord, I get it, of course. If there's anyone to go into that thing with, it would have been Zane, but come on. I did, however, forget that they actually put the trunks bobbing up and down in the water. I will give props for that.
I'm gonna skip my breaks. I'm gonna make mistakes.
Here I go!
Oh, another slide moment right off the bat. Okay.
All right, who's
Lover's CPR. I personally prefer the moment where Kanan says you need CPR, but I think that comes out right after this.
next going down the Super Dunga Cowabunga Mega Dunk Super Slide?
Is it true this one goes straight into the ocean?
Yeah, bruh.
I mean, you could have looked that up beforehand, but yes, and that's why, now Aaron's got to be like, oh dear. Which, by the way, at least this slide is maintained, unlike the other one.
That's kind of awesome.
Wait, did you say ocean?
Yeah, bruh.
Oh no! Af!
What's wrong?
Aaron, aphmau can't swim and she just went down the slide!
She what?
You're kidding me!
I'm not!
Wait, bro, you have to wait till the light turns green to go.
I mean, you gotta send someone in to help her, right? Surely? Regardless of the light turning green and whatnot.
There he goes.
Incidentally, Aaron pulling off the save here, fantastic. But I do like the fact that, Zane gets his moment because aphmau opened up to Zane about this secret in the first place. Like, yes, Zane has to tell Aaron for it to make sense, but it's still a great moment for Zane as well. Yeah, re-emerging is, not gonna help in this case. Fortunately, I've never actually experienced drowning myself. I learned to swim at a very, very, very early age. And beforehand, I was used to pools in general with floaties and whatnot, as aphmau herself was too. And I guess still is to this day, potentially. I don't know. But yeah, fact is, it surprises me that, just based on idea of, like kicking and like, flailing, that if you do it wrong and you don't know how to sustain yourself, that you will just sink, essentially. Kind of like what aphmau did, which I assume she was clear flame before. She didn't just like immediately drop down to sink like a stone. Somewhat interesting that happens. I actually have no idea if you're supposed to breathe multiple times with someone with CPR. I've got to ask Adri. They've got CPR training. CPR.
Aaron,
Don't you ever do that again.
Aaron.
I was so worried about you.
Yeah, don't you ever almost die or actually die on me ever again. I better hold you to that.
Why didn't you tell me you couldn't swim?
I don't know. I just didn't want to worry you.
I'm supposed to worry about you. Don't you know how much I care about you?
I'm so sorry.
It's okay. You're safe now. Look.
Oh man, okay. I think that was the moment where Kaden came down and was like, you need CPR. Maybe it was a different one. I'm not sure. But this one, 100% agree with. Although I personally think I personally prefer the moment where aphmau actually speaks dog to a lady in a store. But we'll see. Again, if I ever actually do my own personal top 10 list or top 15 potentially, I might go a little bit beyond. You'll see that I have a very particular taste as far as MyStreet scenes go, and very particular reasons for each of them, usually. Which is why, regardless of whether or not I vote in these things, general public is never going to be swayed by me specifically.
Best dog dad.
Oh.
Okay, that was definitely a interesting cut.
Oh, that's all.
Ever.
Turn around. Yep, there we go.
Where
Yeah, we should have opened up on this scene because someone in the comments of my last reaction like said that it was cut because people wanted to remember the context behind this. But what context can you glean from Aaron reacting to essentially someone off screen, other than the fact that it was presumably Gareth in some way, but Gareth is right here, so we don't even need that. The editing on these sometimes confuses me just a little bit.
Did you get that?
I got it for him, but...
Tell me where you get these magical shirts!
Incidentally, the reason, if people haven't seen my season 2, the reason why, Gareth is so, telling where right now is because they left their luggage and therefore they had to buy a whole set of new clothes, all of them, which means that shirt must have come from the island somewhere.
Amazon! But they're not...
Wait, okay, hold on. Amazon... Okay, I know what I just said, now I'm even more confused. Because wait a minute.
I think they said they love each other.
So no, those who get stolen. I'm messing up my mythologies. They didn't pack any luggage because they had to leave immediately. So they never actually. They traveled extremely light. Is my point. That's what I tried to say. I really wish I edited these videos, or at least these reactions, but I'm staying consistent, despite my location having changed.
There. That or they want to roll around in mud.
Fetch.
By the way, one sad thing that someone pointed out, I forget who. Oh, I think it was Write It Out. I think it was a Write It Out video where this was mentioned. Is that Aaron actually struggles to handle Celestia and Alexander in the same way that he used to, because he's now missing that connection with them, which it was definitely Write It Out that episode, because I mean. The fact that the whole Ultimate Curse thing ended up, leaving him afterwards is definitely an interesting idea, but also kind of strange that he himself ended up potentially not being even a werewolf anymore, if that theory is indeed correct. That's something that I'm wondering about. But we'll see.
Stitch? See? This is my life! Dog traitor!
I forgot the dog was called Stitch. Also, I mean, just based on the hair and the outfit, definite reference there. I can see it now.
Aaron, you're a great dog dad.
The best.
Ever.
Oh. Okay, this is about the time in the video where it seems that the video starts to go out of sync. And I just realized that's because I'm recording this on Microsoft Edge, and normally I usually use Google Chrome for this, and I forgot to switch over when I prepared the thing. So yeah, sorry about that.
What I want to talk about is babies.
Okay, really? Really, people? I mean, first of all, Savannah being in the top 10 of anything is a crime into itself. But secondly, make me an abuela. Okay. Like... This is the first episode where Sylvana returns, and immediately she shows her cards, and it's like, yes, I would definitely I see. You know what? Just show it. Just it's better if I show it.
Babies? Aren't you getting a little old to have a baby?
Don't be frontin', yo. I'm a fine woman, still in my prime.
No disrespect, yo. I just didn't think that was still your thing.
Babies are...
I mean, I will say, actually, apparently geriatric mothers is actually a term that applies to much younger women than you would think it does in terms of, the science behind it, which definitely means that, Savannah, you, as fine a specimen as you may be, yeah, I'm not entirely sure. But then again, she doesn't mean for herself. What does she mean, of course?
Always my thing, butter cheeks. Though you're not entirely wrong. It's grandbabies I want. From you.
What?
See, the fact that she feels the right to demand this at all. Like, the idea is like, yes, please, alter your entire lifestyle to change, to raise children, all for my personal validation, and do multiple, even though I myself only raised one.
Well, I'd love to have babies.
I mean, at least aphmau is into the idea. Again, I know the whole, like, fainting Aaron thing, blah, blah, blah. Which, by the way, she still doesn't know in this scene that Aaron and aphmau are dating. aphmau hasn't told her that yet because of the issue between the pair of them. But yeah, this scene, like it establishes that, yeah, Sylvana's never painted in a good light until, like, season 5, pretty much. Season 3 does a little bit with her. And season 4, she's not really, like, around for too long. So maybe, yeah, season 3. But season 5 is really her season to be an actual decent person for a long period of time.
I'm glad you two are just friends. See how immature he is? Can't even handle talking about babies.
See, there we go. There we go. Like I said, she didn't know. And I guess that was it. I guess that was the scene, you know? This is one where it's like, I don't get it. Like, the thing is, I also know people in real life who have had this, like, pressure put onto them, you know, by their parents, and now having, like, also, you know, reached the age, and those same friends, like, reached the age that aphmau was in canon when this supposedly happened. It's like, yeah, this is not a good experience for anyone. So yeah, I will never understand people like that scene. They haven't thought about the implications. They've got to think about the implications. And speaking of implications, the scene that always comes up whenever we talk about the physics of MyStreet. To remind people, the reason he formed such a big crater and we fell so far from the sky is because he actually flew across the world, across the ocean, essentially, in an explosion. You know, if the shock hadn't killed him or the explosion itself had, the fall definitely should have. And this is where, you know, I then extrapolated in the Truth About Travis theory, in my most popular video of all time, that there was something different about Travis's physiology, particularly. Of course, that video was made before season 6, and during season 5-ish. No, it was just season 4 I made that. So I would not yet know the extent as to the differences, but I definitely, that's the one part of that theory was like, yeah, I called that one specifically. So this was eventually clarified in universe, but of course it is a sign of the difference in tone between the different seasons. And yeah, shows changing tone is nothing new under the sun, absolutely not. But yeah, like the way that it tries to pretend the stuff was more realistic than it actually was. And it's weird as well, because I remember in some people used to comment about like how they didn't know that they were surprised that like magic became such a big thing in the later seasons of MyStreet. Despite, you know, the creators being like, magic was always a thing. Which, yes, magic was always a thing, but you know what else was always a thing? This kind of stuff. So it kind of feels like having your cake and eating it situation. But yeah, the scene itself I actually do appreciate, because this was, you know, like around the time like Travis's like full breakdown. He had been slowly like regressing as a character, going from Phoenix Drop High, which we by this point seen. And so to understand like exactly how he got to this point, there was nowhere for him to go other than up. Including physically out of the crater, you know?
What happened? Wow. There's no way I survived that impact. I guess that makes this heaven. Good job, Travis.
Good job, Travis. Now you're dead.
Well, this could be worse. I've had a pretty good life.
I do like the fact that, you know, the fire is spreading to the trees as per the Minecraft way.
Some great friends. Dante, Garth, aphmau, Caitlin.
Wow, not even Lawrence got mentioned here. Even at this point, it was already being neglected. Jeez.
We had some wacky adventures, too. Man, I'm gonna miss those guys. I wonder if they're gonna miss me. No regrets, Travis. You have nothing to be sorry for. Except for Caitlin.
By the way, I know he didn't mention like his family or anyone, like his dad potentially as well, because he wasn't a character yet. You know, whatever. Wasn't written.
Man, what's with all these trees? This is supposed to be heaven, not some nature reserve. Where are all the angels and pink clouds? I mean, there should at least be a pearly gate or some.
Any biblical experts out there, please point out if there was ever any mention of pink clouds in the Bible, because I would love to know which passage that was from and read said passage.
Thing. Wow. It's nothing like I've ever imagined.
No, because that included pink clouds, apparently. Not sure if that was part of the Irene lore or not.
Oh, they have a human chessboard?
The irony is when we actually saw, the afterlife in MyStreet, it actually did look like a bit like what people always imagine heaven to be. At least the void portion of it. Also, yeah, this scene I knew was going to be in here, and I knew it was going to be a high one. So this one, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at all.
Hello?
Hey, bro, what's up?
I heard you're visiting the paradise!
I was going to surprise you. I sure am. What's up, bro?
Well, I need your help. Can you come here?
I can't right now. I'm buying clothes.
All right, well, hurry up and get over here.
I can't find them.
What do you mean you can't find them?
I can't find them. There's only soup.
One thing I didn't appreciate the last time was that obviously this is obviously a meme from Code Ment, which is like one of the early abridged projects by Purple Eyes WTF. If people didn't know where it came from originally, if anything, for a while it was like the only like major mainstream meme to come from an abridged series. Because it was just that good, but of course it had to be like edited with a bunch of like different soup pictures and the Code Geass characters, going across for them. I don't remember, like, I haven't seen Code Geass, I don't know the names of any of them. But of course, because like you saw there, even at that point, we already have Gene further back in the shot, as in like, not him further back in the shot. The shot himself is like zoomed out, so you can see more and more just how much soup there actually is around him.
Huh? What do you mean there's only soup?
It means there's only
and the camera is still zooming back. And this is around the time before Catface Studios as a whole, started editing all of the Minecraft shots to either be like in constant movement, like in Phoenix Drop Days. So this is saying something.
Soup.
Well, then get out of the soup aisle!
All right, you don't have to shout at me. There's more soup.
But what do you mean there's more soup?
And also bear in mind that they just like made a whole entire store just for this joke. With different types of soup. Like the prop making in MyStreet was always next level. Always. But I mean, this right here just solidifies it.
Just more soup.
Go into the next aisle!
There's still soup.
Where are you right now?
I'm at soup.
What do you mean you're at?
Again, I'm going to pause just to make sure that the audio syncs up again.
Soup!
I mean, I'm at soup.
What store are you in?
I'm at the soup store.
Why are you buying clothes at the soup store?
Forget you!
Caitlin.
Yeah, so "Forget You" is of course not the original line from an early 2000s abridged series. I think people can possibly, guess, especially if they know the origins of the song "Forget You" itself, which also does the exact same thing. Now, this is actually the reason why when Aiden and I were working on Fallen Angels episode 2, and Aiden wanted to make that same reference, he wanted that same passage. That's why at that point it goes back into regular dialogue because the scene isn't over. So I then reverted it back because that was my portion of the script. So like I reverted it back with Alana going like, look, you said you were looking for stuff, like what? It's like no, it's Adam said like, look, you told me to like find something in the store. It's like not that store, which one? The one that sells clothes. And then it's like okay, of course, because Adam, in general he has an excuse to be that dumb because he hasn't actually been in the modern world properly, other than doing his job for mere short moments at a time. So it's not unreasonable. In the case of that scene, unfortunately, it has the effect of, dumbing down Gene significantly. Like, I know I mentioned the aphmau ray before, of like how the characters end up being like, transformed or whatever. Gene had a temporary aphmau ray, but only for that specific scene. Just so that meme can work. And that does go into the idea that we keep mentioning in like Gacha Review, where I talk about like how I guess I talk about like Midori stories, for example, and also Good and Bad Karma recently. Sorry, Good versus Bad Karma, the Speranza series. That was a recent review, where we talk about like the way of like memes being either too invasive or properly like inserted in if you want to like actually visualize this particular thing, which seems to be a trend in some matters. Yeah, I think if it works, if it's integrated. This one for me, unfortunately, wasn't, but my goodness, they did their absolute best, especially with the soup store. And again, this is me thinking much more deeply about this stuff than probably the general public does, so I can again understand why it was so important. Speaking of stuff I understand why it's important, this scene, I'm pretty sure, is the scene that I knew was going to be here. The one that I mentioned I got spoiled for. But also, yeah, it comes full circle, and I will show why in a second.
I want to talk to you like a person, not being yelled at or hit. That's not okay.
What's going on?
If you aren't going to grant me the respect of talking this out, then I don't know if I want to get more involved.
Travis, I just can't believe you didn't think about me. The last person who never thought about me was
your mom.
Okay. Yeah, right. Hold on. Before we got to that point, so what happened in this instance was that they're arguing about the fact that Travis knew that Dante and Nicole either had or hadn't broken up, and Dante was dating somebody else. He was dating Jen at this point. So essentially, because he never properly broke up with Nicole, he was cheating on her. But then as soon as Nicole found out, that was when, everything like blew up in Dante's face. And so Travis, being Dante's best friend, was there for him. Caitlyn, being Nicole's best friend, was kept out of the loop by Nicole herself also, incidentally, until it's the point where like she found out, I think, through Nicole, and she asked Travis why he never told her, and so he said that he didn't think about her in that instance. In that one singular instance, by the way, which, yes, as Nicole's best friend, Caitlyn would obviously be concerned for her and want to know. However, as Dante's best friend, that kind of superimposed that, especially because Caitlyn and Travis were really not properly well established, even as friends at this point yet. They've been hanging out a lot, especially, like, actually probably getting to know each other. But it hadn't really progressed beyond that really much at all. So where we were in the series, it made no sense for Caitlyn to act this way. And yeah, Travis absolutely has the right to bring this up. And by the way, I mean, I will say, Caitlyn did open up to him a lot in this case of, like, if he knows about her mum, knowing what we know now about Caitlyn's mum, that's huge. Don't get me wrong. Like, yeah, she allowed her to be vulnerable around Travis, and this feels like a betrayal to her. But yeah, she is not thinking about this from any perspective aside from her own, which is similar to what she was doing with aphmau and Aaron at this point, with the whole, like, keep your hands to yourself type of thing, and just kind of getting in the way of them a lot of the time, especially from Aaron's perspective. It was a huge issue for Caitlyn around season 2, and I'm glad that it got addressed. Unfortunately, I don't think the actual scene where, where they have a proper conversation after this point is in here, but I am so glad this one made it in.
Mom, I know. But Caitlyn, that happened a long time ago. You can't be like this and expect to be happy with someone. How long are you gonna be miserable? Please!
I will say, I would probably have not been like, oh yeah, that happened a long time ago, because obviously, trauma around, like, parents runs deep and runs for a very long time. But Travis is definitely correct that Caitlyn does need to acknowledge the fact that she can't essentially treat people like this, or even herself in that way. Yeah.
Talk to me!
What? What do you want me to say? Maybe I want to be miserable.
Fine. Enjoy your cruise. I'll be waiting if you want to talk again.
Just leave me alone.
Yeah, he's not going to hear that, but fair enough. And now, Nicole comes in. Okay.
Caitlyn? Nicole.
You can't solve all your problems with anger. You want to talk about it?
Yeah. I know I need to apologize to him for my behavior. I just don't know how.
Yeah, because ultimately, in season 1, of course, Travis was, a huge pain to Caitlyn, so Caitlyn was a huge physical pain to Travis. And we know about that balance. But Travis had, for the entire season at this point, been making an effort to meet Caitlyn on her own terms, really proving just how much of, like, an actual interest he had in her in the first place. Again, hardcore traveling shipper here. That was, something that I paid attention to significantly back in the day. And that's why I was so, that was one of my favorite parts of this season, was the fact we got so much Caitlyn and Travis content, especially compared to literally every other season. Despite the fact that this is now my least favorite season, having, rumors on it for over 5 years, of course. That is one of the aspects to me that stands out significantly. And I was not the only person. Someone in the shorts, this is a comment from the shorts, by the way. This is one of the voted things, and this is the only one that I personally voted on. Because what I was going to do before I forgot to actually add stuff myself was I scrolled through the short, and I looked for stuff that I wanted to upvote specifically. And this is the first one, or not the only one, that I actually upvoted personally myself. Because, yeah, Travis standing up to himself truly resonated, because it's a very serious answer. And then somebody on the actual video, again, it's spoiled to me, but this is from the actual original video, which will be in the description, obviously. So the top 3 is Travis standing up for himself. It shows how much, how much we love the funny moments, but we also love the character development and real life aspects of the series. They're super important to the series. I just love that for Travis. It goes back to, a question that Aiden asked, way back in the day. How exactly do you make characters that are, as iconic and beloved as aphmau? And the answer is, you let them be over the top and crazy, but you also bring it back every so often. Bear in mind, of course, the series went into more dramatic territory consistently in the latter half of it. But even in the early half, you had some of these moments, just just the necessary ones, really, where you realize that, these characters, of course they have all of their quirks and their silly traits and whatnot, but they're all human. Well, okay. Ultima, blah blah blah, whatever. They're all humanoid, and it's stuff like this that really gets to that. And the fact that you see these characters, they obviously care what they're going through, and you can see from both perspectives as well. Because that's the thing. Despite the fact that Caitlyn took this too far, you can see from her perspective, and I'm sure that Travis can as well. But he's just done, having met her on her own terms this whole time. Now he has to assert some of his own. And that to me is brilliant. That to me is peak storytelling. Yeah, just a shame we probably won't see the eventual moment of, when they actually go into, try to go into the real reason why Caitlyn's like this, and then we never get a proper answer. But, you can't have everything in this world, I suppose. And what we got here, pretty fantastic.
It's okay, Caitlyn.
And also the fact that it was Nicole, by the way, who again was sort of, was involved in the situation to begin with, as far as, her and Dante and whatnot. But now she needs to be there for her best friend in turn. Also, I love the fact that, Lizzie had to voice that scene, of consoling herself. Always fun when, VAs have to double up like that. Speaking of doubling up, there's a scene with Zane and Dante. Let's see what happens with Keston here.
What is taking the girl so long?
Oh, women. They always take forever to pick out one outfit.
I saw this in the comments as well.
Says the guy who spent 1 whole hour picking out his outfit.
Hey, I wanted something fashionable to match my eyes.
This is a thing where, he actually, Garte is known to have clashing colors, so Gareth, of course, he knows about that. He knows what to do.
Sorry about the wait. We're done.
Wow, you all look beautiful.
I never know something, but what with that purple streak that Lucinda's wearing? Because that's not attached to anything. The bikini top is white, and it's not connected to this part. It's like a string. I'm not sure what that was. Is that meant to holding up the bottom from the back? I'm very confused. And of course, that's blocked by her hair, so we never actually see the answer.
Where's aphmau?
aphmau.
Yeah, see, look, see, it's got like a string or something, or it's meant to be like shoulder pads of some kind, or like I don't know. I have no clue, but like it goes across her neck too. Yeah, whatever.
Oh, come out. No, Aaron hasn't seen me in something this revealing.
Then why did you pick it, you fool? I'm sure I said that in the 5 years later video, but it has to be said again. If you don't want someone to see something so revealing, don't wear something so revealing. It's very easy.
Come on, aphmau, we don't got all day for this. Yeah, the fireworks are about to start to kick off summer.
There you go, double up. Then again, also, also bear in mind this is the outfit that aphmau wears for like the entire season, pretty much. So it's only Aaron she cares about in this instance.
Fine.
aphmau.
Before we get to Garth's joke here, I just remember there is like a Baywatch style slow motion joke with a bunch of like lifeguards in an aphmau gacha parody I haven't got to yet. With particular like music as well. It kind of makes me think that if this were done, you know, a few years later, that we would have had like the slow motion of aphmau down the staircase, maybe with a bit more like emphasis on like different parts of her potentially. Who knows?
You.
Whoa, baby!
What?
Ahoy, matey!
All right, enough gawking.
And again, it's good to appreciate the fact that Garth still has a crush on aphmau despite her dating Aaron, because that's how that works, of course. But yeah, that moment was also in the comments, the ahoy matey thing. It's like, that's of course the first thing you think of, and it's still not that good, honestly, Garth.
Can we get to this fireworks show? Sure, follow me.
And of course, Zane is done with it. Right, what is this? What moment was the favourite?
How did you sleep last night?
Aside from Garth mistaking me as his pillow.
You know what? I get this one too. Play it.
I guess I slept alright. He snores though. Really bad.
And then I guess later on, this is a double on, I guess, double tacked thing.
Grok roommate. Girl. Girl.
No.
Gareth.
No! My name is pronounced girl!
That's it, I'm sleeping on the roof.
There it is. Yeah, hold on. Let's play the outro. Oh, okay. Alright, I guess, yeah, I should have noticed by the timeline there was going to be no outro there. Yeah, as far as that one, actually, I nearly used that audio for Mutant Girl Season 3, Episode 1, when I did the Julia snoring joke, but the Nostalgia Create Tsunami episode just beat it out. Just beat it out by, you know, how, like, crazy that one was. But yeah. Okay, so that was the top Season 2 moments of MyStreet, voted by you, and also me, kind of. Little bit. And I'm looking forward to watching Season 3 now, because again, I get to vote my favorite show and properly, like, you know, dissecting that one. Fantastic. But then again, I also promised that I would do my own Season 1 and Season 2 list eventually. That's probably going to be like a next year thing, because of course, when we're talking about personal selections of stuff, or perhaps less personal this year, the Jacobs has to be a huge thing, which incidentally, it's been worked on behind the scenes, but again, I've been sick, so I haven't really like mentioned it a lot. If you just watch my aphmau content, if you don't know, I've started the annual tradition last year, so it's the second time where any videos that have been on Gacha Review, have the chance to be voted, you know, based on, like, you know, Oscar style categories essentially, you know. But you know, a little bit gacha-fied, you know, best adaptation, you know, best editing, that kind of thing. The videos are what's being judged, not say the people involved in them. even though the people who created the videos sometimes accept the awards if I actually know them personally and I can summon them in time. But yeah, we're trying to be more structured this year in terms of that, and at some point that will come into fruition. Probably over this weekend will be time where I start properly working on compiling those things or potentially presenting categories and things. And again, I might be making a YouTube short if this is a way that has worked for aphmau and counting the upvotes, because I'll probably have an easier time of doing that than the MyStreet One Last Time channel will, which makes a lot of sense. So yeah, I guess about that. By the way, I don't have any final thoughts like the last bit of the list because like that one makes sense. So yeah, some of these this time. Well, last time I think I was like, okay, well I understand why all these are here, or most of these are here, but then I would put them in different places. In these ones, obviously my personal list is going to vary significantly and probably have like different things. If I had to choose from like these ones specifically, they probably would mostly be in the same order. Mostly. Sylvana would be right down at the bottom, 100%. But yeah, beyond that, I can understand why everything is here. And yeah, like, there's some bits where the general public, I think, like, what on earth are you on about? I really should do like a deep dive of Sylvana's character and why I despise her so much, even though I've mentioned it multiple times over the years. Similar to how Write It Out did, his decline of Aaron's character type of video. I will say that, it wouldn't be a decline for Sylvana because she already started off pretty low and actually improved over time, just, kind of a little bit late in the game. But again, other projects for another day. As far as this project goes, I guess we're kind of done here until Season 3, where I will hopefully be paying a lot more close attention. And if there's any season I plan to rewatch multiple times, depending on like when I make the list, it's gonna be Season 3. So I'm looking forward to that, and I'm hoping that you're looking forward to hearing my verdict on, I guess the votes in general, because people seem to like the last one I did these, so why not? Time for me to download this video and get it posted immediately, because I don't edit these. So there you have it. So please leave a like or dislike, because your opinion matters. If you haven't done so already, and on that note, until next time, farewell.